Section 107 of the Copyright Act 1976. Allowance is made for fair use for a purpose such as criticism, comment, news reporting, teaching, scholarship, and research. For uses of use permitted by copyright statute that might otherwise be infringing. Nonprofit, education, or personal use tips the balance in favor of fair use. Now let's start this dang show.
You don't have any fights this week? Oh man, we gotta have some fights.
What is up? What is up? What is up? Guess what, Asylum?
What?
We started on time. That's crazy. Hey, we're making strides for season 3.
It only took 2 years. It's okay.
Yes.
See, we tell everybody it's a process. They just got to understand what kind of a process, right? It just takes about 2 years to be able to start on time.
Hey, it's just like you always say, you know, you get a new regime, give it a couple years, and then on that third year, or just like a draft pick, that third year is the showtime, showcase, whatever year, and that's what we're in. We're going into season 3, so we're trying to show that we are getting better, and now we're gonna become superstars. Yeah, right. All right, Asylum, how are you doing today?
I'm doing good. A little tired, but you know what? You can't miss Wednesdays, especially this particular Wednesday, because we all know what's coming.
Yes, you know it is. Miss Peggy is in the green room. You know, it's a Peggy Wednesday, Peggy's perspective. So I know everyone can't wait to hear how she feels about this draft and this Raiders team that is about, we'll say, 90% assembled, you know, because we still got to go through training camp and preseason and maybe some other
there might be, hey, look, there was a trade done today. There might be another trade in the progress. You don't know what's going to happen. We're still in the process of assembling and fine-tuning what we have.
Yes. Well, before we get into all that, let's do our favorite segment, which is the shameless plug. Solemn, here we go.
All right, everyone, go to the YouTube channel, The Cage Match Show. Like, share, subscribe, hit that thumbs up, and hit that bell. That way, you know, anytime a video or short drops. And if Roger Goodell wants to pull his Arby's imitation, he's got the meat, and try to ban us or shut us down for a little while, you can catch us on Facebook at Oakland Raiders Savages page, Oakland Raiders Savage, or my page, Asylum. And we'll let you know when his temporary ban has been let go and we're off probation to come back to YouTube. And when you're done with the show, go ahead and visit WGG. Check out their fine writings. Maybe get that little bundle pack that you see right there on the screen. And when you go to checkout, put Cage Match, one word, in the discount code to get 10% off your entire order.
And like we always say, when you think of, what is it again? Oh, yeah. When you think of wins, you think of dubs. And when you think of dubs, think of Dubby. Get the energy like Pete Carroll. I'm going to keep saying it because Pete Carroll comes in. Always got to compete. Compete. Go there. Discount code Cage Match. One word, CAGEMATCH. 10% off your whole order. Helps us out because that's our only sponsor right now. You know, until we get into our third season and we get Bud Light and Budweiser and Blue Chew. Yeah, right. I got slogans for everybody. But when they come and pay, then I'll put the slogans out there. Okay. Anyways, also shouts out to the Compa Fabian. Go there to his website, www.r4lifer.com, RaiderNationForLifer.com. If you're trying to remember it simply like that, go there, check it out. He makes his own merch. He has a great catalog, and like I always say, I only wear hats for the man himself, and I only wear the Hard Knocks hat because Peggy, because she brings it. Okay, so the Hard Knocks hat is always for Peggy, but I got this from Compa Fabian. So go there, check that out, and also shouts out to the Raiderman19.com. Go there, check it out. I believe he's restarting his podcast, so he should start having his episodes come out soon. Also, but we always try to give him shout outs because he lets us use the Raider Oath at the end of our intro. And that same Raider Oath, we want to make sure that we can try to get him somehow, some way to that torch, light that torch, and say that oath for everyone inside the stadium and outside that window behind them. Have that window open up to the strip and have that Oakland mystique with the Las Vegas Raider way and a collective 65,000 Raider fans that Pete Carroll promised. We want everyone to say, I am a Raider fan, and have that torch light up the new season, light up this new team, light that fire underneath their butts. Because my mom's probably watching. I got to make sure I watch what I say. All right.
Ass is not a bad word.
I know, but see, I was sheltered. Okay, as a child. All right, Asylum. Without further ado, let's bring in the star of the show. She's been carrying the show since we started, so we're just here. She is.
Since we got her on, yep. Ever since we brought her on that 1 week.
Asylum, please roll out the red carpet and bring on Miss Peggy's intro, please. Here we go.
Hello, everybody.
Hello.
I know.
I got your background. Here we go.
No,
that's not it. That's not it. Wait. There we go. Sorry, it's been a while.
There we go.
Okay.
I know we've been beating the draft to death for the last 2 weeks. I've had a good long chance to absorb what was done and try to make some sense out of the strategy. Overall, Asylum, what grade do you give overall for the Raiders draft?
Oh, I'm gonna give us. I think we build needs and everything. I'm gonna give us a solid B.
We'll give you a solid B. What about you, Savage? What overall do you give as the final grade for the draft?
I would say about a B plus. I like to be highly positive, so I'm gonna say B plus on this one. We got some needs. We got a generation of running back in that first round, and then my favorite pick, Charles Grant, at pick number 99. I saw his tape. That dude throws guys down on the ground by their necks. I said, all right, okay.
He choke slams.
Choke slams,
Well, I'm going to give the draft a B as well. And the main thing is people have to think, first of all, let's talk about the whole philosophy of draft. I love to put up my picture of the voodoo priest, right? The carnival show, crystal ball. Because honestly and truly, you can't say it's a good or a bad draft until these guys have been on the team at least 2 years. Okay? Yeah. First they have to make the roster, then they have to stay healthy, then they have to contribute. okay? Either as starters or rotational backups. But the most important thing about a draft is that you fill holes, okay? And that's what the Raiders did. I was pleased to see we did not go to Kaiser Permanente. Look and see who needed a surgery, who's been injured while they were in college, and pick them. I was very relieved to see that. I was also relieved to see we did not pick guys that were obviously undersized for their role.
Yeah.
Okay. Which is another mistake that we have seen in previous Raider drafts, if people will remember. Okay. But the most important thing is need. And I'm going to tell you, the night before the draft, I said, Raiders, you need offensive weapons. Okay. Offensive weapons. And somebody was listening to us, weren't they?
Yeah.
I want to offer my condolences to Asylum because he really wanted Mimbo, and
He went right after our pick, though.
yeah, that's right. and it wouldn't have been a bad pick, but the Raiders simply have no one on offense other than Bowers that anybody fears. And that's an instant problem when you're facing even our opponents in the AFC West. You have to have some home run hitters. You got to have the ability to move the ball downfield. You have to have an explosiveness. And it's coming, right? Ashton Junty. Now,
they're using the same word for him that they use for Brock Bowers. Okay. There's a lot of pressure on this kid right now. They're putting the term generational on this kid, just like they did with Brock Bowers. Now, Brock Bowers is proving them right, is proving everybody right. So, Genty having that same title, he's kind of got a big, some big shoes to fill there.
Yeah. And there's no doubt about that. And what he gives us is a weapon that opposing defenses have to game plan for. They have to look, they cannot just let this guy run on top of them. Okay. This is something that we haven't had for the last 2 years. This is a guy that gives you that dimension from the backfield. And oh, by the way, I think they're going to also develop his versatility with receiving as well. Because the idea is going to be what, Savage? Get the ball in his hands.
Yes,
okay?
yes.
Any way you can. Get the ball in his hands. I wanted to move on to the second round pick. And I knew we needed a receiver. Again, we don't know what is it Beck or Beach?
I think it's Demon King said it was like Betch or Besh.
Besh. But I don't know what he brings to us. But I like to see the Raiders. I liked it so much that they knew we need a deep receiver. We need a threat. I'm not sure.
He's a bigger receiver, too. He's not short, lightweight. I mean, you're talking about 6'1", 214 pounds.
I'm not sure he's that field stretcher. You see, here again is another aspect of the offense that we haven't had in 2 years, and that's the ability to stretch the field. Nice footage on the guy. I know inside short range, he's good, but we already have one in Myers, Jacoby Myers.
Yeah.
We have, I didn't, what I'm looking for is a guy that can take the top off. Okay.
That?
Yeah, I'm hoping that he is envisioned like that. Okay. And we did keep Tucker, but we got to have that deep dimension, that deep option. We have got to take the pressure off the middle, right? Open up lanes for Bowers and the slot And Junty, we've got to get those safeties off the line of scrimmage. We've got to get them out of the middle. And I think maybe this guy is the one. I'm not sure. I don't know. And let's go to our third round.
The Raiders did. I like what the Raiders did, though. They traded back twice, got 2 more third-round picks in the same draft, and still got a quality receiver. Got a quality need. Got somebody who probably will, at some point, if not early in the season, be starting in the season, depending on how things go, obviously.
But remember my voodoo priest admonition. Until we see these guys in action, I don't know what kind of quality he is. There's no way to know until you see him. And by the way, we're all in the blind, right? Because we haven't seen the Chip Kelly offense.
Yeah, and I was gonna say is one of the things that I guess in the last couple of years of Raider offensive coordinators, we never really had somebody that knew how to draw plays to get particular players open. We could have a home run hitter and not have a coordinator that knows how to use them correctly. Like, I mean, even with Devontae Adams, coordinator not know use him correctly. Brock Bowers found himself to get open this past season with 2.5 coordinators, but for the most part, we'll get these guys that we're like, okay, that's taking us to the next step, but then have a guy who don't know how to draw plays to get him open or packages that focus on him to get the ball to him. It's always been we're going to try to get him the ball. We're going to try to open up the offense to try to utilize all the playmakers. Don't try, just do. Al Davis says it's one thing to have the players. It's another thing to say that you can have the players, but it's one thing to do, to go out there and make the play, regardless of what the down is, just go out there and make the play. And that's, we just had a whole bunch of guys that were trying to do it. Don't try, just do it. We got the players. Find ways to get them open.
Right, and this goes back to what I always talk about with offensive coordinators that people overlook as their job. Play design.
Yes.
How you move those X's and O's around to free the player who's the target on that particular play, or to create multiple targets. I mean, in the
create mismatches
and one-on-one situations that absolutely is a part of the OC's job. He's got to design plays to get these people open. And I'm going to tell you, with Bowers as a distraction underneath, I want those safeties guessing. Do I play on the line, close to the line? Do I cover the tight end coming out the middle? Or do I help double deep? That's the kind of dilemma I want defenses to be in. I think Chip Kelly's the guy that can imagine it in his head and see the multiple levels of things that have to happen in order to make a big play happen. Okay? Yeah. And that's what we've been lacking for years. Just having somebody with that vision, that ability to play with 3 X's, because he's only throwing to 1 X, and move those routes, move those defensive players out of the place where you want to throw that ball. Okay? Yeah. And or get that single coverage, that mismatch. Well, of course, Bowers is a mismatch anyway.
Yeah, and he's going to, because of this past season, he's going to draw a lot of attention. When he started breaking out at the beginning of last season, they weren't putting, a linebacker or a fast, safety on it. They started putting their number 1 cornerbacks on Brock Bowers. So that he's going to command.
Right, but you got to make them pay for that move.
Exactly.
Okay, they've got to pay deep, and that's why we go, to wide receiver, and particularly that wide receiver that's going to stretch the field for us. They have to pay for that. Yeah. You can't just put Surtain on Bowers. What about our two wide, that showed so little respect for our wideouts, in my opinion.
Yeah.
I mean, just no respect at all for our ability to get the ball deep. That's got to change. But let's go now to the third and fourth pick. And of course, O-line. You knew they were going there, Asylum. You know they had to go there.
The third pick
excuse me. I'm
was
sorry.
cornerback.
The first third round pick was corner. And of course, that was a need.
Yeah.
That was a need, especially after Jones. Bye-bye.
Yeah.
and of course, corner is a need. But I want to focus on the offense for this time. And maybe when I come back, we can talk about defense, one of my favorite subjects. But I want to talk about those two O-linemen that we picked. And hopefully we get a starter out of them. I'm still uneasy about our guard positions. I just don't think we have the right players. But now, Caleb, I understand, can play tackle too. Is this correct?
Yes, he can.
Yes.
He can play tackle. He can play guard. He can play left. He can play right. He's played on both sides. So, I mean, I see why he got drafted with just the versatility because of injuries or whatnot that happened, throughout a season. You could still have a solid guy who can, be moved around on the line, and it's not new to him. He started 13 games at right. Oh, you got rid of my graphic.
Sorry.
But, it's okay. He started 13 games, at right guard. I think it said right guard and left guard. Then it goes, there. So it's not for him. He's not going to have to think about which way he's got to move his feet to be able to handle anything, depending on where he's going to play. Not to mention, he's playing guard. You could throw him. You find your weak spot in guard, and you're going to put him on that side because he can play right or left.
Mm-hmm.
So
right, and O-line versatility is something that has really come to the fore out of the college game. I mean, guys that are playing guard, that are playing tackle, with ease, they're switching positions. And then we go to the next pick, of course, who's a straight OT, and I understand he can play on the left or right side, right? Charles Grant. A lot of people are talking about him.
It's when I started seeing his tape, I was like, yeah, okay. We didn't get Mimbu, but I like this guy. And this was actually one of the picks that Vincent, one of our viewers, he said, hey, I want him in the second round. We were able to get him in the third round, right? In the third round.
Yeah, third round.
So he was on point when it came to that pick. So so
we really, I mean, everything on our offense, I don't need to tell football people out here that know the game. I mean, everything depends on that offensive line. And I'm just, y'all remember that game, Mystery Date? Where you didn't know, you didn't know you had to open up the door to find out who was standing at the door. I feel like that about our offensive line. I just don't know. I just don't know what they're doing, whether they're going to power block, whether they're going to do a mix, zone block.
Well, that was Getsy. Well, because I kept saying it too last year. I'm more like Getsy has half the guys going zone, half the guys going man blocking. No one knew what they were doing, and of course that resulted to the 32nd worst or 32nd in the league in rushing attack, which was no attack. So
and I'm mystified by all the people out there saying, but we had a good O-line last year. I said, excuse me, you got two quarterbacks hurt 3 times. Okay? One was gone for the season. I can't understand how anybody can say anything good about that O-line. But Chip must have seen something.
There's something there, and I think there's something to do with Joe Philbin too, being the O-line coach and seeing something that he liked out of some of those guys, and even just these 2 guys we drafted. We drafted 2 big boys. I mean, 6'5", 311 pounds. That's not a small man.
That.
And then with the Chip Kelly, I really think it's a Joe Philbin had some say in this and going, and I think there was something that was seen there out of some of the guys that we kept. out of the Merediths, out of the Parhams, stuff like that. That he either said, you know what, I can coach this, I can teach them what they need to do, and what's a good head coach do? You can do this, fine. We'll see what you can do here, and I'm gonna let you do you. You get these guys to be what I need. You just protect my boy Geno Smith right there and make sure he can do his job, and then turn around and make sure that there's some holes for Genty to be able to run through, and then we're good.
The depths of the line's problems extended to communication. And this is something that is a very subtle thing people do not see during game, the way the O-line talks to each other. Okay?
Yeah.
Communicates blitzes, communicates gaps, changes of, what do they call it? When they change the play at the line of scrimmage. Audibles. That communication was absolutely missing. Okay. And we actually lost 2 games. I thought it was just that Kansas City game, right? Where somebody taps somebody on the center, says, okay, snap the ball, except the quarterback wasn't ready. That level of communication was totally gone. Okay. And so whoever's rebuilding that line has to build that too.
Well, because one of the things that I noticed last year was it seemed like the offensive line lost fundamentals, which was like you'll see guys, the double team one guy, but then they're not looking out for anybody else coming to the line of scrimmage. They're just like their face is like buried into the guy's armpit that they're blocking. And now just that created a hole for just, a linebacker to come in and go in and just sack the quarterback, which you're supposed to like engage one guy and then keep open towards the open area if you're in like a zone blocking scheme or pass blocking, zone blocking. So that was one of the things that they weren't doing. Maybe that's why.
That's footwork though too, isn't there? I mean, that involves footwork to be able to.
Oh, it involves so many things.
Yeah,
leverage,
it's
upper
awareness.
body.
It's all that.
How your hands are handling the blocks, or getting off the blocks, especially if it's a run play. They just couldn't get off of anything.
Mm-hmm.
They could not make movement. And that's the thing.
Joe Philby didn't come into that position until after Getty, thank you. I don't even want to remember him. After Getty was let go, that's when Philby got taken out of the booth and actually given the position and to be able to start working there. So I mean, now Philby's going to have a whole training camp, OTAs, a whole off season to work with these guys. And again, with the coaching staff we got and the offensive coordinator we got and the coach we got, there might be a little bit, you talk about your voodoo and everything, there might be a little bit of magic in there, and we might have a competent O-line at the start of the season.
Yeah, well.
Notice I said competent. I didn't say great. I said competent.
There were just so many layers of the O-line that needed help. I mean, it's so like Savage just said, even their fundamentals broke down. Stuff that they learned in high school.
Yeah.
Foot position, maintaining leverage. All of that broke down, and maybe we saw the O-line version of guys on strike.
Well, see, and I remember when we're talking 20 years ago. I coached high school football 2 years. I was an offensive line coach, and one thing that I did was I was always watching my linemen when they're blocking. If I seen something that we didn't do in practice that they're doing out there now, hey, come here. What'd you do wrong? How come this happened? Come on, let's figure it out. So that's what I would do, and that's what I'll help make adjustments in the game. And I felt like whoever was on the field in charge of them, maybe before Getsy was let go, they weren't helping making those adjustments, and they're all sitting there, as one unit. Go down there and be like, hey, I saw you had your head down when you were blocking. Keep your head up. Keep your shoulder, your body, your pad level low, but keep your head up. Look for somebody. Don't just engage both two guys. Engage one guy with your helmets buried into his shoulder pads, because now you just created 2 gaps for somebody else to just come in on a coverage sack. So They weren't doing those adjustments, and that was the thing that we were breaking down film for one of the games earlier last year. And I'm trying to look at their feet, and I'm all like, these guys are zoning, but these guys are doing man blocking on a simple 1 yard run. Like, we're all over the place. There's no communication. Everyone is just stuck on one block, and they're not realizing that you got a linebacker he's over here. He's eyeing a gap to come in and make that play. That's the things that these coaches at the time weren't letting, giving these offensive linemen awareness to be like, hey, you saw this, you saw that, but what about this guy? Come on, let's make the adjustments. It didn't seem like they were doing that until after Getsy and some of those guys on the offensive coaching staff were let go. But when you're trying to adjust in the middle of the season, you're trying to fix things.
It's too late.
Yeah.
Way too late. And you wanted to feel sorry for him, except that they were just another thing. When people tell me, "Oh, we had a great O-line last year," you only had one game with a 100-yard runner. One game. I can't even think of a Raiders season where we didn't have at least 3 to 4 100-yard games, and that too is a testament of how poorly they played. But Chip doesn't think it's them. He thinks it's the way they were coached. So we shall see. Now let's go on down to our later picks. We start to get a friend of mine is so excited. We picked up Hemingway from South Carolina, right? A defensive tackle.
Oh, yeah.
Okay. And they're excited. However, size 284, he's going to have to put on at least 20 pounds. What do you think?
I'm sure he will. I'm sure they're going to say, you know what, just go eat, don't care, do what you got to do. We rather see a little bit of muscle, hit the weights, get that protein in there, and 20 pounds will be easy for him to gain.
They're going to put him on the Max Crosby workout plan.
That's right. And a friend of mine also said that this is a guy whose motor is always running. That's very interesting. I mean, he may push Tyree a lot, which I'm hoping Tyree needs that push. He's just been coasting, and there's so much more talent inside of Tyree. It just has never materialized the way it was envisioned when he was a first round pick, correct?
Yeah. And
it hasn't materialized that the way we want to see it. Now, a timeout.
I was going to say he could pair well. You talk about a high motor. We already have two people on the defensive side, the defensive line, with high motors, with the Max Crosby and the Wilkins.
Right.
Okay.
Now
so now you got a third high motor. You put 3 high motor people. That's just going to wear out an offensive line. I mean, when an offensive line has 3 people with motors that do not slow down late in a game, usually the run game is to tire out a defensive line. But it's, you get people like that on the defensive side of the ball to tire out an offensive line. Now, late in the game, you're stopping the run. You get to the quarterback. You're keeping them, on their side of the field, causing punts all the time and going. So, I mean, yeah, there's a chance he's going to beat out Tyree, and it might be just on pure motor alone.
I'm not sure, but he is undersized for a DT in the NFL. I was thinking of the days. Remember the good old days when they used to have DTs playing at 230 pounds? I'm thinking about Carl Mecklenburg, who got thrown around like a rag doll during every one of those Super Bowls at 230 pounds. I couldn't believe it. He was a DT. Well, we've gone a long way from those days, right? He needs at least 300 pounds to really be competitive in the middle. But let's go back down the list. Let's go on, keep on going. Who else did we draft? Oh, I want to talk about that second wide receiver, right? Dante is Don. Go back to Dante because we skipped right
there you
over
go.
him.
Sorry, there we go.
Dante Thornton, once again, the Raiders understanding that wide receiver position
6'5", 205 pounds.
I know y'all like his size, don't you?
Oh, 6'5", 205 pounds. I mean, he's a tall receiver. I mean, those 50-50 balls is not even a 50-50 ball. That's like an 80-20 ball now all you got to do is throw it a little high over, well over a defender, and this kid could be able to come down with it with no problem. I mean, without, it's not even a big stretch. You're talking about just, it's going to be nothing at 6'5". I mean, that's a tall receiver.
And the 4.3 40. This is an Al Davis. It's Al Davis pick right here.
You were talking about your possible guy taking off to take off the top. That might be your boy right there.
I'm sure hoping so. I mean, we absolutely have to have a deep passing game. There's no question to be competitive in the AFC West. Everybody else has it. We don't. And this is something, again, we rely on Chip Kelly and his offensive brain. Mm-hmm. What can he do for this guy to get him one-on-one? Okay. What can he do to do, those jump balls? And how does his route running, I saw as slightly, in need, but see, that's something that can be coached.
I was gonna say that's coachable. That's coachable there, though.
That's coachable.
And we have a new skill set too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, I like that. We need that burner, that person that will make them respect our deep passing game. And this whole thing about our receiving core was brought on by the fact of the poor free agent class. Guys, I just want to divert for a moment. I am mystified how come Kelly didn't get DK Metcalf. I really...
They wanted too much.
You think so?
At first, they were wanting the first... I don't remember what the Steelers gave up for him, but I know at one point it was either multiple first-round picks or it was a first-round plus for Metcalf, and it was just... I just think it was too much.
You think he was just too expensive, okay? Yeah. That could have been it, Oh, our friend Amari's out there looking for a job.
I know. They're still tying him back with a reunion with the Raiders. So, but he's still out there. I know that.
They tied Hunter Renfrow to the Raiders too until he signed with the Panthers.
Yeah.
Yes, he did. And see, but he isn't the guy we were looking for. We're looking for a guy that will make defenses fear them, game plan for them. And that's the kind of guy we don't yet have. Perhaps we're forced to develop our own. Okay.
Well, you always want to develop your own. That's always the best way to go. If you can develop them, that's always the best way to go, because then you're not losing draft picks or high costs or anything. Well, until later in their contract years. But I mean, if you can develop them, you get all that. They're your guy, and then if they become disgruntled like they do, such as a DK Metcalf in Seattle, then you're the one who gets all the draft picks, to go and go. But you always want to develop the guy if you can. That's the best way to go, instead of, because how many times has somebody been traded to another team and it not work out?
Well, look what happened to Devontae. I mean, we kind of brought that on ourselves. It was beautiful when Carr was here, but Carr was only here 1 year. And then the wheels fell off for Devontae. I mean, he literally disappeared in our offense. And so I'm glad to see he's found another home with the Rams, I believe.
Rams.
Yeah. With his favorite quarterback, Garoppolo. So,
I mean, he's got Stafford. He's got Matt Stafford. Hopefully he stays healthy.
Yeah.
But and I understand there was a trade. Pickens went south.
Went to Dallas.
Cowboys.
Now that trade was made possible because of the DK Metcalf trade that they did earlier in the offseason.
No, we weren't thinking about scooping by and picking up Pickens now, were we? That guy is a locker room cancer in the making. I have to say that just with all sincerity. I've seen games where he has the performance is no concentration, no focus, dropping balls, running wrong routes. And I'm like, okay, you talk a lot of talk, But when it's time to deliver, yeah, some games you do it. Some games
and they said that. I think that was Tomlin's like, yeah, hey, take him. That wasn't the PM. That wasn't. I was telling, hey, take him. What do we get?
Yeah,
Take him.
after AB,
Tomlin would have taken a 7th round
has been
pick for him.
through with them diva wide receivers for sure.
And that's the problem. Unfortunately, you get those diva wide receivers, and then they do end up becoming that cancer. Some people don't see, it might not be bringing down, but just because they're making it all about them and not about the team, then the team starts looking at them a certain way. And then once you do that and lose your teammates, be called that diva. There's the divas, and then there's the divas. There's the divas that people out there that are doing everything, but they're the team player. And as far as the team's concerned, hell no, we keep him. We don't get rid of him. We'll do whatever we have to. I'll restructure my contract to be able to keep him. And then you got the ones that are divas who think they're better than what they are, being that locker room cancer. The players are turning around saying, I don't even want to be sitting next to him while I'm getting ready because I don't want to hear his shit. So I mean, there's kind of 2 levels to that, but the diva is what you don't want.
Yeah, right. Wasn't Devontae's nickname Devontae?
Yeah, I mean, but that perhaps might have been a good thing that the wide receiver free agent class was so bad we just couldn't get anybody. Okay, because now we're forced to develop. But now I want to move right on to those last 3 picks. If I haven't missed anything, I want to talk about quarterbacks. Okay, and Malo and what's the other boy's name from Montana?
Cam
Miller. You see, when people were talking all day during the draft, first, second, third day, they were talking about Raiders need to draft Shador. I say, excuse me, he is not a Chip Kelly quarterback. Miller is a Chip Kelly quarterback. Okay? And I'm surprised that we didn't jump on the Ohio State boy. I think Pittsburgh got him, right?
Yes, I think you're right. Yes, I think it was Pittsburgh. Yes,
Pittsburgh got him, but this is a Chip Kelly quarterback. Okay, strong arm. Okay, big body. Has a little bit of mobility in that pocket. But basically, that's his vision of a quarterback. Okay. And these are things that escape people because they really didn't get into Chip Kelly, the OC. Everybody was Chip Kelly, the head coach, right? Yeah. Chip Kelly, the GM. They were just, their brains exploded. But they didn't think about Chip Kelly, the OC. I mean, was this guy Carson Wentz? That's his kind of quarterback. That's his kind of guy. Okay? And he went out and got another Carson Wentz. Okay? The same physical model. Okay? The same kind of experience. I don't know about Malo being diverse. What was that boy down in New Orleans, Taysom Hill? Right?
Taysom Hill, yeah.
Oh, yeah. The tight end. The
tight end, quarterback, running back, receiver.
I'm not sure whether Malo is a little bit of everything, right? But he's a nice little gadget to have, right? In your back pocket when you want to design something for a defense that's either pressing too hard upfield or doing things, not paying attention. That might be a good little distraction if he makes the roster.
And Demon King said that he could be more like a Julian Edelman quarterback come out of college and be like that slot guy, Brady's favorite position outside of the tight end who got that slot receiver paid. So that was somebody that Edelman that Demon King said that he could be like that Edelman, someone that Brady would like, or that quarterback.
They say Edelman used to be a quarterback, and
Yeah, and I kind of noticed that trend towards, getting those guys that are good for going across the middle, run good routes, get off the line of scrimmage, uh, and then yards after the catch. Okay?
Yeah.
They don't really go deep, they don't stretch defenses, but they do create a lot of havoc in the middle, which is all the more reason why we have to, a deep passing game has to materialize.
Yeah.
We have to have somebody to take those safeties out of the middle so we can do some damage.
Yeah.
And Brock Bowers can do some damage. Okay. And that's what I'm hoping that we get. It doesn't work unless we have a deep game. None of it works unless we have that deep game. And then finally, bringing up the rear, a linebacker, which everybody was kind of disappointed we didn't get one earlier, but that's okay. Because we, in free agency, we got a few linebackers, did we not?
Mm-hmm.
We got a couple, yeah.
We stocked that position pretty well in free agency. Yeah. And so it's nice to take a look at somebody else. Of course, I would have preferred a Penn State linebacker, but none of those guys were probably there that late. But hopefully this guy can turn into what I call the role player. Okay? That guy, those guys, and I've talked about this before, you do not win Super Bowls without them. Okay?
Yeah.
Situational guys. Guys are specialists in what they do.
Yeah.
You don't win Super Bowls without them. Hopefully this guy can turn into one of those type of. You're looking at him now, right?
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
He's got pretty good athletic skills from what I'm understanding. Fairly good athletic skills, and so we expect maybe that sideline to sideline thing that we've been lacking in our linebackers, right?
Yeah.
We really haven't had that kind of linebacker. I was hoping that Eichenberg and some of those guys were picked last year, but
Eichenberg really hasn't had a chance yet, though, because of Robert Spillane. Because Eichenberg and Spillane were
hurt a lot too.
Well, he was hurt, but him and Spillane basically the same linebacker. And when you have Spillane, you don't, you're not putting Eichenberg in there. So now that Spillane's gone, he might be able to see more or more time on the field and go, because Eichenberg was brought in to replace Spillane eventually. Unfortunately, I think it's a little sooner than I would like.
Yeah. He only missed like one play, and I was at that one goal line. We thought he was out for the season, Spillane. Then he comes back and so
I mean, a guy who has surgery during the week, and comes out still plays that Sunday. That's a guy that that's hard to find. It's hard to replace, and I hated seeing that go. That was the worst part.
I made my statement about that. The Raiders just haven't demonstrated that stability, that loyalty that makes a guy like Spillane decide to resign with us. I mean, at the time he was making up his mind, I don't even think we knew that Graham was coming back. Did we? Did we even know?
I think we knew Graham was back. I think it was close, but I think Graham, it was not long. Graham had come. I got me thinking, maybe I'm wrong.
Well, I mean, after the selection of Carroll, then we didn't know what he was going to do about his defensive coordinator for a little while. Couple weeks. All right. It was a no-brainer to bring back Graham. But you see when you see your defensive coordinator hedging his bets about whether he's going to come back. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah, Spillane should have been somebody
that he set for the guys of Spillane and Mooring, who they don't even know whether their defensive coordinator is going to be back. They've had yet another coaching change.
And that was one thing. That was one thing that we said going towards the end of the last season is Spillane should have been priority number one to get him re-signed before he hit the open market, because once he's in the open market, we're going to have to overpay for what we already had on the roster, and that was something that they should have signed up front, or like towards the end of the season, and get that contract locked up.
Mid-season. His ass should have been re-signed mid-season.
Yeah. So,
but oh wait, we weren't behind the scenes. We don't know. Like with Matt, everybody said that season, oh, he should have been signed, before the season was over. How do we know that he even wanted to negotiate with us?
Yeah.
You see, Patrick Graham had already in October refused to be re-signed.
Yeah.
All of his players knew that.
Yeah.
So there was a possibility that he wasn't going to be there next year. I think they acted on that. I think they acted on that assumption. And, it's just been too much instability, too much change. And then when they saw Pierce get fired, I mean, oh my God, what's next? I can understand Spillane and them going out and saying, let me just get out of here.
Yeah.
Before I get swept up in the winds of change, this is gonna happen. And I want to go back for a minute on one of my favorites, Ed, when we talk about AOC. Okay. And I hear y'all talking about AOC. But what I'm not hearing people say is that there aren't possibilities, that there isn't potential in this guy. I haven't heard you say that. Okay? I'm not sure what people don't like about his skill set, but I see a guy that, despite all the turmoil, despite the 4 offensive coordinators in 2 years.
4.5.
Right, 4.5. He still has been getting better. His recognition is better. His throws are smarter, faster. He moves a little better in the pocket. I mean, and he was injured twice and came back.
Yeah.
Okay? That's a toughness score I want y'all to put down for AOC. Now, he might not make the team, okay? But I think he deserves a chance to show that he could make the roster, okay? Because we all know Gino is Pete's boy.
Yeah.
So it ain't gonna be no starting quarterback controversies, okay?
See, I think what it was.
No, and it was made clear. It was made clear why the Raiders didn't draft Shador, because they didn't want that quarterback controversy on their team.
Well, it's not even that. He's not a Chip Kelly quarterback.
Well, no, I agree with that too. I agree with that too.
It doesn't have anything to do with all the garbage around Shador, all the after the fact, the day of the draft, the day after the draft, and the year before the draft, you were saying something else about Shador, and now you change your story about Shador. I don't care about any of that. I knew the Raiders were safe because he's just not the kind of quarterback that Kelly's looking for. The arm strength, right there. I mean, Chip likes strong arm quarterbacks. So Shador was never on his list. Okay, maybe Cam Ward, but we all knew that we would never get a chance at Cam Ward. It could have happened that he fell to us if Cleveland, if the Titans passed on the quarterback, which the Titans being the Titans, that would have been a possibility, but it did not happen.
I don't think he would have made it past New York, though.
Oh no, you're right. Well, I don't know. It would have been tough. Well, yeah.
I think if the Titans didn't take him, the Browns probably would not have traded out of that number 2 spot, because they traded out. So when everyone knew, it was like 99% sure Cam Ward was going to go to the Titans, but I think the Browns are just kind of like, well, let's just see what happens. Okay, Titans pick him. All right. Hey, Jaguars. What did you? Okay, yeah, whatever. We don't care. Just yeah, we'll take it. We'll take it. We'll take it.
And you know the whole thing where someone the one Jag fan was teasing me the day of the draft. We're gonna get John T. We're gonna take it from you, and then the trade.
Yeah.
Okay. And I said to myself, you know, this is a Jaguars type of move. And instead of letting players fall to them, they just jump up. We got to have Travis Hunter. Okay. All right. You know, that's what y'all want to do. But that left me happy because we no longer had competition for Junty.
Yeah.
Okay. I mean,
Well, I got a question for you, Peggy. I know we talked a lot about before, right? Spy Tech, first time GM, you know, never draft, you know, leading up to this draft and everything. How do you think he did? Got your grade. How do you think?
I don't believe that he did the drafting. So you had I'm like left at the train station already. The train to pulled out on that question because I don't believe he did the draft. This has Chip Kelly and Pete Carroll's fingerprints all over. More so Chip Kelly. It really has his fingerprints. It is a Chip Kelly draft to me. I'm not again. Spy Tech was brought in to do as he is told. He's not brought in to be innovative, creative, or to do anything that's going to push back on Carroll or Kelly's agenda. Because basically, you got two GMs as coaches, don't you? Two former GM/coaches.
Yeah. Especially with Pete Carroll.
What do they need Spy Tech for except to run the scouting organization? Which, by the way, the Raiders made some internal changes. If you've been reading the news, Spy Tech changed out all those old timers and Telesco people in the scouting side of the house, and
he got the guy from Denver too,
and a guy from the Eagles. As well. Okay. So, I mean, Spytek is building his organization. You know, he's a scouting guy in an organization with two GMs as head coach and OC. They didn't bring him in. That's why they got rid of Telesco. Because he would push back. He understands the role of a GM. Okay, it is to consult and to get consensus, not to be handed a list.
Well, what if they brought in Spy Tech and they're training him because Pete's on his 3-year with the fourth option, so everyone thinks that Pete is there to get this team going. Maybe give Chip Kelly a chance to play under an NFL coach to take over as head coach. Maybe Spy Tech, kind of see, kind of put his fingerprints on his team before he's ready to take over. Maybe that's what Pete Carroll's doing, is developing the guys to take over for when he finally retires from coaching. So,
I mean,
I don't know.
That is all a possibility, but we're back to that training wheel scenario, that Dr. Frankenstein scenario. We're going to create a master GM, and it's not going to happen that way, okay? He will be the creature of a strong head coach and an equally strong OC. That's all he's meant to do, and to run that scouting organization. Okay, that's it. They didn't bring him in to be a true GM in the Kansas City GM sense of the word, in a Howie Rosen whatever, in Eagles and in the Rams and in Pittsburgh. You see, those organizations, and in Buffalo and in Baltimore, you see, their GMs are not only independent, but they are equal partners at the table. Okay? They tell the head coaches what their vision is, and somehow they collaborate and get together. Okay? The coach just presents his list of positions that he needs. You see, I'm looking at the successful organizations.
Yeah.
Not the organizations like the Raiders that keep thinking that they can do it different and win.
Well, we
Even though
have
it's been proved for
Pete
20
Carroll,
years that it,
Chip Kelly, Spy Tech, Tom Brady.
no, he got training wheels on too. What does he know about a front office?
See,
What
Tom
does
Brady.
he know about drafts, scouting?
Tom Brady is the mole who is the announcer that can have that insider inside people's facilities, even if he's not physically there. He's there, the mole. I don't know. I'm just saying dumb stuff right now.
No, you're not. You're not saying dumb stuff. I feel you. To have the pedigree, the influence of a Tom Brady in your organization, will make players, coaches, more willing to deal with you.
Yeah.
But in terms of what Tom Brady brings to the table, he's just a 7-time Super Bowl champion quarterback.
Yeah.
He's never been on the sidelines coaching. He's never done any of those things. So it's all new for him. He's learning too. And he's probably learning from Pete. Anyway, guys, got to run. I hated to be short like this, but we will talk about defense the next time we're around. My vision for what the Raider defense is going to look like, especially since Graham is back.
Oh, yeah. We'll have all those ready and figure out what is, how they're going to build this team going into the training camp and who because I heard that even Wilkins might be having a hiccup when it comes to his foot surgery that he had, or his foot injury.
I heard.
Yeah. So
that's what I was going to ask earlier. And then, by the way, Pete Carroll is a defensive guy.
Yeah.
Don't think he's not trying to create his own Legion of Boom.
Yeah.
Right here in Las Vegas. And I look forward to him trying, But we'll talk soon, guys. Gotta go. Thank you so much. And
Thank
see
you,
you
Miss
in
Peggy.
2 weeks. See you soon.
Let's get your outro going. Here we go. Oh, my bad. Go. We do a live show. No, everything happens. Oh yeah.
Sometimes we're fighting for control over here. That's what it is. We're fighting for control.
I mean, yeah. How do you? Okay. See,
how do you come back from a this Peggy segment?
How do you follow that? I mean, from what she said, and then Demon King last week, our receivers.
Speaking of Demon King, how you doing? He's in the chats.
Oh, he just pulled up. It's like, see, it's kind of like a genie. You got to. Oh no, he's like Beetlejuice. You got to say his name 3 times, and then he pops up just like that. Shouts out to Demon King. Came on the show last week to let us know.
But we can finish the show with him if he wants to come on. He just needs to say so.
Yeah. If you want to go in, Demon King, if you want to pop into the
Demon King.
Does it work? But I mean, yeah, well, Miss Peggy was saying, having receivers to open up the offense, going deep and whatever like that, and a lot of people were saying in the chats last week, and also Demon King, is that we have a lot of steals in this draft, especially.
It worked.
Oh,
send him the link.
It worked. Oh yeah, the link. Hold on, let's do this right here. We're gonna send the link. How do you send the link again?
You don't know how to send the link?
Yeah, not live.
I just do it from my phone. That's how I've always done it.
Okay.
Here, you talk, I'll do it.
Okay, you do it. So yeah, so we're gonna get Demon King on here, because we summoned him from the war room, which is we call the war layer. So send that link. We'll get him ready to go. And to piggyback off of Peggy, and we'll go from there. So,
all right, Demon, I sent you the link.
all right. So, yeah, what Miss Peggy was saying, and you know what? If this is Chip Kelly that had a lot of influence on the players.
I was just saying, I like that. I was asking about the Spy Tech thing because we know how she feels about all that, the newbies and everything. But she does have a point. The defensive side being Pete Carroll's hands in the mix, the offensive side, now that being said, it kind of clicking on some of these players being, they are kind of more Chip Kelly players than going. So, that's definitely food for thought there.
Yeah.
When it comes to whose hands were really in this mix. And if Spytek was just sitting there eating donuts saying, all right, guys, this is your your call. I just showed up for the donuts.
He's like, all right, guys, show me what to do. Okay, just stand right there and you make we'll let you know which guy to call. Okay, hey, this is you've been drafted. All right. So yeah.
That's exactly, he just, do you want to be a Raider?
Yes.
Too bad you already are.
Yes, that's what they were doing. Okay, they were doing that. He wasn't out there making prank phone calls. He was in charge of the real phone calls. But if this was a Chip Kelly, heavily influencing the pick of, especially it was a more offensive draft on this one, and if he had a lot of the final say so's on who he wanted, it's going to be his offense that he's going to be running. So to allow Chip Kelly to pick the guys that he wants, that he feels that can work on his offense, especially just coming from the college game this past year, I'll take it. I'll take it because
even down to the offensive line, right? We were talking about what's it going to be, right? Power blocking, zone blocking, and you and me both kind of agree with the Chip Kelly. It's going to be a combination of the two. Some plays will be zone blocking, some are going to be power, but everybody should be on the same page when they're supposed to do it. And the guys they picked up and go are all guys who could do both.
Yeah, and
excuse me, sorry.
This is going to be the first time in a while, and I'm talking like outside of John Gruden, because he was the head coach and offensive coordinator, basically calling the plays. But this is going to be the first time in a long while that we have an accomplished offensive coordinator coming in and taking over the offense, and hopefully, bringing. Because that's one thing I was going to say was maybe a guy that can bring some imagination into the offensive side. Because I know going back all the way back, 15 years, whatever, when we watch these Raider games and the combination of quarterbacks that we had to go through and receivers, but it's always the same result. First down run, second down run, third down pass, fourth down punt, first down run, second down run, third down pass, fourth down punt. That's all we kept doing. And the defense just seemed like they always knew what we're going to do. So if we have a Chip Kelly that knows how to move guys around, maybe have Brock Bowers do more motion and have the offense run towards him, like the offense literally motions towards him. All the blocking will go towards him, and then you have a guy coming out the back end because everyone's focusing on Brock Bowers. So maybe he'll start utilizing the defense to start going towards his way and to get guys open, guys to sneak out the back end and to get those guys going, finding ways to get Myers open, finding ways to get if it's Beck or if it's the other receiver that we picked up to get him open, maybe finding ways to get Turner. Oh, sorry,
Turner's not on the team.
DJ Turner, I knew that. Trey Tucker open. Because Trey Tucker can be that guy that can motion and then get the handoff, the end around. Yeah. So maybe Chip Kelly can design plays with some imagination to have the defense have to stay on their toes. They can't just go up to line of scrimmage and, stop the run because they know that we can't run the ball. They're going to have to account for Genty and then also account for these guys like Brock Bowers and Myers and these new receivers that we got, where now the defense has to figure out who are we going to try to bring in. But speaking of bringing in, I see him. He's ready. Asylum, please. We still got his thing on there, yeah? Yeah. So please bring him in so we can talk more about this. Oh, the transition. Here we go. The Demon King has
you got this one right.
Yes, thank you. New computer, okay? Getting all working again. Okay, high-speed internet. What is up, Demon King? How are you? We don't have sound. Silent count. What does it say? Mute mic? No, we got no. I don't know what's going on. Did we mention this is live, guys? Did we mention this is live? Okay, hold on.
Hey, we did a whole show like this with fucking Raider Bear.
Yeah, we were using cue cards.
And we were writing.
Okay, hold on. We're just he's getting confirmation from the underworld, so let's just come back. All right. While Demon King comes back on. It has down some 100 years. I like this. When you're underneath many layers, okay, the reception depends on who your courier is. If he has Metro or
I have the same problem with concrete walls.
Yes, sometimes Asylum, it's what is it like 6 feet deep of concrete they have you in to make sure you don't go crazy. Yeah. They took away your Budweiser so you don't transform into Asylum himself. You're just Asylum. You're not Asylum. You're just Asylum.
It make me sound like I'm a damn Batman villain and shit now. Shit.
Well, I mean, like take over and then they're like, oh my god, we gotta go. They get the army and they get the Marines and they gotta come. You're like the next up and coming, like Godzilla or King Kong. So they gotta, oh my god, yeah, gotta go. They're over here like, oh my god. Oh wait, wrong button. There we go. So that's what happens. But as we're getting ready, we want to thank everybody for staying on. We still got we got 10 showing on our meter right here, so we appreciate everyone. That is all those extra AOL discs add up. Someone has to use. Hey, you know what? Those AOL discs, after you use them, you just wipe them out, use them as memory, and that's where I hid all the
porn,
all those LimeWire videos. Twins on computer desk. Anyway, the Demon King's back. Here we go. Thank you. All right, Demon King.
How about now?
Oh,
yay!
Now I can show Ed's message here.
There you go. What is up, Demon King? How are you doing,
fellas? How we doing?
We're doing good.
Good. Had a good day.
We're just now anticipating training camp and all that. So we got our players, and now we're just waiting. So, you know how it goes.
I heard a little bit of what Miss Peggy was saying. I didn't really get to hear too much. I just put it on because I just got done with dinner and that. And Yeah, I don't think Spytek really did any drafting. I think Spytek might be a little bit more of like a money guy. You know what I mean? Like he'll get our cap good. That's why we got 42 million under. Maybe Jalen
So
Ramsey becoming
like
you
a
never knew.
McKenzie, like a
Yeah,
McKenzie.
but
Or
more
even
about
Telesco brought money over into this year. Telesco
yeah.
too. Don't leave him out on that.
Yeah, fuck him. I don't give a fuck about Tom Telesco. Fuck him. He was a choker. He came here. Thank you for JPP, DJ Glaze, Cameron Richardson, and Brock Bowers. Thank you. Now see your way out the door.
Thank you for playing.
Yeah.
That's exactly what they did. That's exactly what the Raiders did.
Yeah, and here's the thing too. Like and Brady are buddies, which I understand why he brought him in. He's going to be able to they're going to do what they want to do. You know what I mean? Because Telesco and AP basically just clashed heads. You got a former football player who's hard nosed, tough, don't know how to call timeouts, loves to yell Raiders, and then you got the clean cut Telesco that just sits in the background, had a few good drafts with the chokers, but he also had a few, mishaps with them as well. And but Spytek, like I said, him and Brady went to Michigan together. They're buddies. They were down in Tampa Bay together. And Spytek learned from Jason Light. Now, I don't know if anybody knows, Jason Light is a great GM for the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. He's a great GM. And the dude, he's like a guy you can go have beers with. You know what I mean? He seems like a good dude. I've seen a lot of interviews with him that he seems cool. He said he was a smart guy. So I can't go wrong with that. I'm okay with Spytek. I'm glad he didn't put his hands too much in the cookie jar and let Chip and Pete do what they do. And also with, Patrick Graham as well, and what they're saying about, Tom Brady didn't have nothing to do with it. The only thing Tom Brady was cool with, as much of the picks, is Cam Miller. He really likes Cam Miller. He thinks Cam Miller can develop into something.
That was actually an article out about that, talking about Brady was not involved. He was close, giving his opinion on things, and turned around and gave his opinion on Miller, and actually loves Miller. He actually is in love with Miller, and told him he has all these tangibles,
How are you?
and everything.
And how are you not going to take advice from the greatest quarterback of all time?
Yeah. Yeah. Now, did he freeze?
Oh, my screen's too small. I can't.
Did he? Demon King.
Hey, there I am. Good.
Oh, so what happened? We have to
Looking
summon again.
good.
Demon King.
Well,
Demon King.
I'm
Demon
glad
King.
it's not my internet going on the freezing part, because I thought maybe it was me. Close all the porn and this will go away.
We'll make your screen bigger.
Midget mud wrestling. Let me just pause that real quick. Okay. I hear you.
I hear you, but you're kind of frozen as far as your picture.
Yeah. Are we
Look at you.
there? Wait. You moved a little bit. Okay. I think we're back.
I can answer that, Ed. I can answer that question because of Tom Brady for one, and Spytek was basically prepped to be a GM down there. Like I said, with Jason Light, he was a good after he drafted guys with Jason Light. He was head of their personnel. I think he was head of their player personnel. I'm not sure. Don't quote me on it, but I think he had a lot to do with that. Yeah, he got defeat way. And it's okay that he started with us. It's not the first time we brought in do their thing with the Raiders. Hence Lane Kiffin, but that's what happens when you hire a 17-year-old head coach. Things just never go right.
So, speaking of, if it's Tom Brady,
didn't want Calvin.
Yes, he was director of player personnel. The vice president of player personnel.
You good? You okay? Director of player personnel. Cool. Okay. But I'm glad that he's here. We're gonna see what he can do. He's got, I think, a 5-year deal. Same with Pete, maybe 4-year deal. We're gonna see what these guys can do. They had a good draft. I know not everybody was happy about this draft because everybody wanted Shador, of course. I understand that. I wanted Shador at one point. I'm going to repeat this again, like I said last time in the draft, last time we did it. I'm very, very happy with what we got. Did we really need to draft a quarterback? I don't think so. This draft class is not a quarterback draft class. Next year's is. I mean, I see a lot of these mock drafts with us at like 7th and 8th pick. I don't see that happening. The only way I think I saw one that they had us draft in Lenoris Sellers from South Carolina. He's in the same body frame as Cam Newton. He reminds me a lot of Cam Newton. He's a good ball player, but his ball placement, he's very erratic. Like Jalen, what's his name? Jalen Hurts. Yes, just like him. But yeah, if we were to get a quarterback, I think we'd have to trade up. And if we have a very good year, I don't see why we wouldn't. You know what I'm saying? Bring a kid in. That Sellers kid can sit for a year, you know, because Grant Nussmeier, they're kind of saying is, you know, the cream of the crop. But, I mean, he's still got a lot of work to do. I like Drew Aller a lot. Because Penn State guy, he's a monster of a kid. He's about 2 Big Macs away from being like 215. Big kid, 6'5", 200 pounds. And he's got a strong arm. Well, not super strong, but strong enough. We'll say that.
Yeah, and
but our receivers.
No, I was saying Ed had said it earlier with Geno Smith. That kind of gave us time so we don't have to be desperate and get a quarterback. He can just step in and then we can, you know, like just kind of sit back and see, okay, who's out there in the draft next year, the year after that, if Geno can stay healthy and be productive with the Raiders the next couple seasons.
Geno's a stopgap.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I'll take Geno for 2-3 years. I'm cool with that. If we can keep him upright, Geno's going to be fine. And with our running game now, with Ashton Genty, it's going to be Geno's going to have. I think Geno's going to have a real good year with the receivers that we have. They'll all block downfield too, and you guys keep calling Michael Mayer, no S. It's not Mayers. It's Mayer. Throw some respect on his name.
Mayers.
It's Myers and Mayer. Myers and Mayer. It's basically a law firm, okay?
Myers and Mayers?
Yes.
Yeah, Myers and Mayer, attorneys at law, scoring touchdowns at all costs. But yeah, I think Michael Mayer's going to have a good year for us. I think he will. I think they're going to get it.
I don't want to get no shit. You just did it.
Yeah, because you got me thinking about it. Yeah. Michael Mayer is going to have a good year for us because I think Chip Kelly's going to put him in that offense, and he could possibly have a few hundred yards, few touchdowns. You know, everybody knows. I mean, as long as you're not stupid, Brock Bowers is our number one. Even though he's a tight end, he's still our number one. Yeah. And that's smart, Ed, because I think Genty's going to have like 1,400 yards rushing. That's my opinion.
Wow.
I think he might.
Yes,
I do. Yes, I do, because I think we're going to tote the rock all year long.
Well, now I do agree with that. I do see us being run heavy. That I do see.
Yeah. See,
I see him breaking a lot of.
No, I was saying is I'm hoping that when I said this earlier, that Chip Kelly can be the offense coordinator that we haven't had in a long time that can really bring imagination to this offense where the defense can't just sit back and know on first down we're going to run, second down we're going to run. Now because we stopped the run, we know they got to pass. So let's go back and 3 and out, 3 and out, 3 and out. And I'm taking John Gruden out of this because he was offensive coordinator and head coach, but we haven't had an offensive coordinator really in a long while that knew how to develop or draw out plays that can develop into getting our superstars that we have in the offense open, finding ways to get them the ball. It's always been, oh, we're trying. Al Davis said a long time ago, okay, you can have the players, but it's all about doing, not just saying it, not just trying. It's like doing, and that's what I'm hoping that Chip Kelly coming in, being that offensive, being a very
Hello? Yes. Yeah. Savage, it's the Raider Nation calling. They are very pissed off of what you said because they never agree with logic. I'm sorry, he's gonna have to get back to you.
Wait, was that a landline?
Yes. It's my Raiders helmet phone.
I need one of those.
I got this at a garage sale when I lived in Florida for $8.
Shit. I'm jealous.
I know.
$8? Shit.
$8. The guy goes, "Oh, you're a Raider fan?" I'm like, "No, I'm just wearing these clothes because I like the color black." "Yeah, I'm a Raiders fan." He goes, "I got something you might like." And here he comes with this thing. I'm like, "How much?" He goes, $8. I gave him 12. Here, keep the change. We're cool. I was like, "You got any more Raider stuff for me?"
See, they should have you be the guy that calls up the rookies. Hey, I'm on the Raider helmet phone. Guess what? We're going to pick you in the first round. Oh, yeah.
I'd be like, "Hey, are you ready to come get booed when you don't do good and get cheered when you do good?" It's just like playing for the New York Yankees. You're loved when you hit a home run. You're hated when you strike out.
Yeah. I know because my former A's players wore Yankees uniforms after they left the A's, and I'm all like, man, there goes Giambi, whatever.
Yeah,
man,
shout out Jason Giambi. And now the Yankees can have beards. How about that?
I know.
Times are changing.
That's because Steinbrenner passed.
He died.
It took a while for that one to happen.
Well, when he died, and his sons are the ones that run the team now, and they decided, yeah, we can have beards. They got to be clean. They can't be like straggly or anything. It just got to be clean cut, which I understand. Through the New York Yankees, we still don't have names on our jerseys. We're never going to have names on the jerseys. It's not about the name. It's about the team, and it's about that NY and those pinstripes, just like the shield. It's about the shield. It's not about the players. It's not about the fans. Sorry, fans. It's about the shield.
And isn't Steinbrenner's birthday on 4th of July?
Yes, it is.
And isn't somebody else's birthday on 4th of July?
Yes, it is.
Yes, it is.
And that is Al Davis himself. That's crazy, huh?
Al Davis, if you thought you were bigger than the shield, your ass got shipped off. It didn't matter how productive you are, how good of a player you were. If you thought you were bigger than the shield, nobody was bigger than the Raiders. Shield.
Ed, I think we do. We still have. I think linebacker is still a little iffy for me. I'm hoping Devin White can come through. I mean, I still like Amari Burney and Amari Gaynor. I really do like them. I think Bernie was a pass rusher in college football. He had a hand in the ground. So I do like them. I think Devin White is gonna start because, and you know what? He might wear the green dot. You never know. I do like Roberts. Roberts is a good run stopper. And our safeties, just think about our safeties. Like they're decent, but they haven't played together yet.
Yeah.
It may take a minute. I don't want everybody to jump down throats and lose their minds, but they will get it together. And like I can't wait to see my guy Trey, man. I can't wait to see Trey Taylor do his thing. But I'm very excited to see Leaky Fatu, the 6'6", 200 and some pound defensive lineman. If this kid could learn just a little bit of it, I think he's gonna be something. He's gonna be something. Former rugby player. Who is the other former rugby player that came to the NFL and now he's one of the best left tackles in the entire league? Anyone?
Bueller.
He plays for the Philadelphia Eagles.
I got nothing.
Okay. Well, we'll just say that he's the best. He's one of the best left tackles in the league.
Like, I think I remember the story. I just forgot because
And
I just
also,
can't remember the name. Yeah.
I'm hoping Darian Butler comes along quicker than people expect. But I think Camryn Richardson is going to have a good year. Now, remember, he's not going to pick off passes, but he's going to be in the receiver's hip all the time. He will have a lot of pass breakups, but you know who didn't have a lot of interceptions? We're doing trivia now. Who is a former Raiders cornerback who shut down one side of the field and didn't have a lot of interceptions because teams wouldn't throw to his side?
who is number 21? Asamoah.
There we go. And what did Asamoah play in college?
Safety.
Yes, he did. And they made him a corner. Asamoah would shut down a half a field.
Yes.
I won't compare him to Revis, but I will compare him to other good corners in the league. I won't compare him. Revis was just a different person. You threw at him and he's picking the ball off all the time. Revis was just a one of one. You know, I hated that he won his Super Bowl with the Patriots. I hated it. But Revis was just that guy. And I hated him in college because he played at Pitt and he beat Notre Dame for 3 years. Piece of shit.
But with all due respect.
With all due respect, Revis was.
With all due respect, yeah. As long as you say with all due respect, it's okay.
Fuck the Pitt Panthers. Fuck them.
So with this, with the guys that the Raiders have brought in, you was talking about some of the veterans that they brought in, and then with these rookies, does it look like, and I know we're all speculating and going off of what we hope, but it looks like they're building this team, like what Pete Carroll said in his press conference, to try to get it going now. You know, we're trying to get it going now. It's almost like the front office. You got guys who are new, like a Spy Tech, but he's learning off of Pete Carroll,
Yes.
Chip Kelly. You know, it's like on the job training. So you have the two veteran linebackers that we brought in because we have like Eichenberg that we drafted last year to come in and train on the, you know, and Asylum said that with Peggy is that he was basically supposed to be Spillane's mini-me, but because Spillane never got off the field, even when he was injured and had to get carried off, he still came back the next defensive series. Yeah. So there are some guys yet to be seen. We'll see more coming into this preseason. But do you like the combination of what we got, draft and free agents to come in and take over for this 2025 season?
I do, because I am a Tommy Eichenberg fan. I think the kid is a good linebacker. Like, he just got to get some burn. He's got to get his feet wet. He's still wet behind the ears. He's a puppy. You know, he didn't really get much play. Played a little special teams, but I need him at linebacker. We drafted him to play linebacker. We didn't draft him as, oh, well, he'd just be a good special team player. Well, we did that with 4 other guys. I don't need that no more. We drafted this kid as a linebacker. Let's go. Get your – here, this is what my head coach used to say. Get the shit out of your ass and get him moving.
No dingleberries.
No dingleberries. Wipe your ass.
My coach used to call us dingleberries. Come on, dingleberries, let's go. Like, what's a dingleberry?
My coach used to say, you're running like a fried egg. I don't understand that. Still don't. I understand you're running like a Tonka truck. You're slow, but I don't get running like a fried egg. It never made sense to me. But my coach played at West Virginia. He had a lot of concussions. So
you're running like this. What's a fried egg do? It goes.
That's kind of what it was like. Like the fried eggs in Burger Time, the video game. That's what they ran like. That's what he said we were running like. But what would I do with the $42 million cap? I would look at an offensive lineman possibly. I know we got a couple kids, but there are some. Kevin Zeider still out there. I would maybe look at that. You know, I think he could come in and help out. Like, I'm not a huge fan of Parham anymore. I think Parham's too light in the ass. He's center size. He's got to get a little bit heavier to play guard because he just doesn't have the weight. But I would look into Zeitler. I like him. Get a silence projection out of there. That is ridiculous.
You said center size,
Right?
and it's
And where
like,
did
hear
I
me
put
out.
him? Right where he belongs.
He doesn't know where he belongs, carrying JPJ's water. Stop it. I can't say nothing. I'm sitting in my living room. I'm not in the NFL, so they're all great to me. But I think that we maybe bring in a corner. Maybe look at the Ramsey thing to see what we can do with that possibly. If the Dolphins don't want like nothing major to trade for him, maybe sign him for a 2-year, maybe $28 million, give him 14 apiece. You know what I'm saying? Something like that. He still can play.
Yeah, you talk about Ramsey though. What would you give up? A 3rd round pick? 4th round
No,
pick?
maybe 4th or 5th.
Well, what about because it seems like we're kind of young at safety after
Maybe Justin Simmons. Justin Simmons is still there.
Yeah.
I think he could come in and show us and teach the kids some things, tell you the truth. And remember, he was with Denver, so he can help us with them as well. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And he knows that defense.
Simmons, he was the one that kept getting all them the 15-yard penalties. He's the one that knocked out Myers, I believe. Was that last year, I think, right? This past season?
That's a Raider. That's a Raider.
I'll take him.
Put him back.
Because I thought about it when you
Throw
said
that
Denver. I
number
said,
on.
wait, I remember that name because
Yeah, and then the
Myers
next week
down
you
the
did it
middle.
again.
Yeah, and then the Broncos were all like, okay, we got to cut you because
Why don't
he ended up getting suspended?
All right, hear me out. We go get Justin Simmons, give him like a 2-year deal, maybe 22 mil, something like that, okay?
Yeah.
Why not throw that number 32 on him and let him roam back there and light dudes up like a Christmas tree? Why not?
32. How about 43? A hitman.
Yeah. What about 26?
Yeah. I mean,
Dr. Death.
Or the Great White Hope, Van McElroy.
He was 30, right? 30?
No, that was
30?
Stewart. What about Stewart?
Was...
What about using Stu's number? Let him roll with Stu's number. Stu would love that. Stu would love it. Shout out Stuart Schweiger, Raider legend. That's my guy.
Hey, if he can come in, because that's almost like when we got when we had to play against Romanowski. I couldn't stand Romanowski, but when he came a Raider and he was bringing that same intensity, I said, you know what? You were just a lost. You found your home, like
Lyle Alzado.
See, live TV, I forget things. Lyle Alzado when he was with the Broncos, and then he was with the Browns, and we hated playing him against in the 70s. Yeah,
Tuzak, yeah.
You bring him over, and you know what? You were just a lost Raider. You found your home.
That's right. We loved him. We welcomed him with open arms, even though he was a Niner. He was a Bronco. We welcomed him with open arms, and he was the perfect Raider.
Yes.
He was the perfect Raider. He was rough, tough, and he didn't give a shit.
And he dislocated Shannon Sharp's arm. So I said, hey, welcome.
That's
in Denver. In Denver. I was like, yes.
Fuck that dirtbag, too. I hope he gets a piece of shit. He's another one. He's probably on the Diddy list as well.
Skip. Well, yeah, I think
young girl, any girl, Shannon, I'm getting 5.
I mean, with the I like what the Raiders are doing. I'm trying to bring it back. I like what the Raiders are doing. I know there's probably some guys that they gotta like you said, but at linebacker, maybe having some more depth because we still don't know yet. We're gonna have basically a whole new linebacking core.
Yeah,
with Spillane gone and Diablo gone. So,
but you know what? That's okay. I mean, it sucks that we lost Spillane, but we weren't paying him that money. The Patriots were just throwing money at everybody because they had it. we weren't paying him that much money. I think we offered 12 or 10 or 11, something like that. But he got, I think, 14, maybe, like some to that extent. But he got a little bit more. And if it's, and of course, listen, everybody, come close. Listen, there's no loyalty when it comes to green. Okay, they're gonna go where the money is. I liked Spillane. I bought his jersey. Now I got to take the nameplate off. But he was going with the money. Congrats to him for taking care of his family. But also, fuck him.
He got 11.
What?
Oh, he got less than I thought. Well, he can really fuck off now.
His average salary is 11 mil.
Piece of shit. Fuck him.
You take the name off and say it's a Villapiano throwback.
That's it. And you know what I can do too? We can just throw the ball at him. He can't keep up with anybody. He falls in the zone. Granted, he sits in the zone, but he ain't gonna run with Bowers. He ain't gonna run with Mayer.
Well,
he ain't running with Genty.
Well, you know
who he can run with? JJ Pegues.
We do play the Patriots.
Yeah, we do.
On the East Coast this coming season.
Yeah, we do.
So, and the schedule comes out next week. So we're going to have that show going. But so we're going to see a lot of our former players, like you said, like Spillane with the Patriots. We might see Shador when we play him. I know he's not a former Raider, but like you said, tied to the Raiders.
We'll see Shador standing on the sideline.
I don't know.
If you don't,
it depends if Joe Flacco's hurt or not.
We're talking about the Browns, though, so you never know.
Yeah, like I said, we'll see Dylan Gabriel.
We'll see these guys next week. Oh, no, next week. Next year.
We'll see Gardner Minshew twice.
Gardner Minshew.
We can only hope that Gardner Minshew is playing for the Chiefs. Because if he does, that means the Chiefs are done.
Yeah.
Everybody knows that. I don't care how their defense is. They have a good defense. I don't care. Kermit Patrick Mahomes is the Kansas City Chiefs. That's it. Andy, I eat 15 cheeseburgers in one sitting, have a heart attack, and still eat more. Reed is not going to coach up Gardner Minshew. All right?
First of all, Andy Reid has been cutting back. That's only 15 sliders now, okay? White Castle, okay?
Yeah, sliding down his gullet.
And some nuggies, all right? So
yeah, some nuggies. Yeah. He doesn't get, you know how when I was younger, McDonald's used to have a 40-piece McNugget. Two of us would split it because I'm just a disposal of garbage. That son of a bitch just gets 7 barbecue sauces, pours it in the box, and just holds it like this and just shovels into his mouth like this.
Like on the cartoon.
Yes, like a cartoon. Yes. His mouth opens up real wide and just
Homer Simpson with the donuts.
Yes.
More.
So, but I think our defense, I know that they're all new. And Patrick Graham's scheme, I hope we run not as much nickel with the 2 linebackers. I hope we run a little bit more base. That'd be cool. But because it's going to take a minute for the corners to get into it. I think, like I said, I think DCAM is going to be better. Jack Bennett is going to be better. The kid played good last year for getting thrown to the fire, just like DCAM, I mean, there's no more cancer.
Other than injuries, no, I like Jacorian Bennett.
Yes. And we got guys to back up. I mean, Thomas Harper, who was a rookie at No Go Irish, but I mean, he's there, I guess. He'll play he'll play maybe at the dime. Darnay Holmes. I would like to maybe possibly go get Mike Hilton from the Steelers to be our nickelback. Mike Hilton's a good nickelback. I'd like that. That'd be pretty cool.
Yeah.
I would like. I mean, there is we brought back Kyron Blue Kelly, I think it is, or Kelly got. He's got a weird three names. He got three names, but we brought him back. I don't know, like he might just be for depth and maybe good special teamer.
Well, I wanted to ask you last week, but we ran out of time because I did have the list of the undrafted free agents. Do you see any diamond in the roughs in the names that's on here of the undrafted guys that Raiders have signed to compete this offseason?
Jalen Walker. Indiana had a really good defense.
Okay, linebacker. There you go.
Yeah, I do like Zachary Franklin, the receiver. I picked him in a few of my mock drafts before.
Okay.
The quarterback from UNLV is intriguing. You know, Haji Malik Williams, he's intriguing. And I do have a Notre Dame guy this year, so I'm happy about that. I don't think Devin Ford really played too much for Notre Dame because the best running back that's in college football right now, Jeremiah Love, will probably be a top 10 pick next year. You can put that in ink because he is that good.
Write it down.
Write it down. John Humphrey. I mean, these guys played. I like Mello Dotson. I still don't understand how him and Kobe Bryant didn't get drafted. That just puzzles me because they were good at Kansas. They were good. You know, I think he has the shot at playing a lot. Tell you the truth, because he's not. He's a good cover corner. He can tackle. You know, so I think he's got a shot. I don't know why we signed a tight end. That's a little crazy to me. But
right. We signed two and then invited one.
Yeah. Well, Jake the Snake Roberts. I'm cool with that name.
Hey.
I'm cool with that. That's what I'm talking about. And we got another Air Force safety, Camby Goff. That's a pretty cool name too. I'll say that. I like that one a lot.
Yeah.
Yes,
go ahead.
These guys. I
don't know. I like Greedy Vance Jr. That's a good name. He Greedy.
Yeah, he greedy, but he played at the University of Spoiled Children, so I don't really give a shit about him. But,
hey, Pete Carroll was the head coach over there a while back. Well, we're going.
And I hated him when he was there because he had one of the biggest busts in football history of Matt Leinart, and he had Lenny the Bagger White, which is Lendale White. He's bagging groceries now because he got too fat to play a running back in the NFL. And, of course, one of the most electrifying players ever in college football. And that's hard for me to say because my favorite player of all time is Rocket Ishmael. And they had Reggie Bush, man. Reggie Bush was just different. He could stop on a dime and start right up. I like Ja Joyner from Minnesota.
I just want to say Reggie Bush is probably the only athlete who survived the Kardashians. He still has a career. He's not making news, no crazy news. So
that's impressive on its own.
Because he got out of there.
Yes. It wasn't like he didn't have a get out situation where he got, hypnotized and got soulless after, going out, so
I think they tried to, and he was so quick and shifty. He just juked Kris Jenner. He juked around Bruce / Caitlyn Jenner, and then he juked around all the rest of the Kardashians. Big badass Khloe tried to stop it. She's like the final boss because she's just a big dude.
The final boss.
Big dude. She's like the final boss. I mean, I'm a Courtney fan. I mean, good for her and Travis Barker. I like Travis Barker a lot. I was a Blink-182 fan, and it seems like she's kind of the only normal one, except she was married to Drunk Diskin. That was great. All right, we're not going to go into the Kardashian. Anyways, sorry, Ed, you know how I feel about USC.
I used to watch the Kardashians on mute, Kane. That's what I would a long time ago.
Vince, I don't think he's going to start right tackle.
I used to tell her, you're getting dumber by the minute.
Vince, I don't think Charles Grant will start at right tackle. That's DJ Glaze's spot, I think. DJ Glaze played good there more towards the end of the year, too. I think Charles Grant could go into guard to start or maybe possibly switch them. Maybe Glaze at guard. That's possible, too.
Yeah.
But I think eventually, hey Ed, we'll see you, man. Have a good night, brother. Love you. I think that Charles Grant possibly could be our left tackle of the future. Excuse me, of the future.
The heir apparent.
Yeah, I think Caleb Rogers is going to be a good guard for us. He's a little rough around the edges, but we got good coaches, man. Everybody have faith. Enjoy the offseason. Enjoy the drafts.
Especially now. You say have the faith, right? But especially now with our coaches.
Yes.
We haven't had quality coaches in a while.
Yes.
We've been bringing in people who are first-timers or, McDaniels who had a bad stint but somehow was going to turn it around.
Yeah, retreads.
Bringing a coach back that we had twice. Come on, man.
We haven't had decent coaching or offensive coordinators or, coaching in the right spots. We haven't had it in a while. So,
and I think,
let's see what this could do.
Yes. And me personally, I think Chip Kelly is the heir apparent. And I think he learned a lot from his first couple stints and then going to the Ohio State. And put it this way, Ohio State just got a kid that's going to school there. I'm not talking about Jeremiah Smith. This kid is going to be better. You might know the name, Chris Henry Jr. He's 6'6". He's 198 pounds. I think he's almost 200. He's got to put on a little weight. But he's already at 17 years old. He's got skills as a senior in college. The kid's going to be dynamite. And he might be there for us at a point down the line, probably 3 years from now. I figure we'll be picking 31st. Already won our Super Bowl.
32nd.
That too. No, we traded up just like the Eagles. We traded up. But, yeah, I think we're going to be okay. I'm excited for this. Yes, we will see J.J. Pegues in the backfield, lead blocking or taking a handoff in front of Ashton Genty, or even in, what was I called? The Grizzly Bear formation. It ain't the Wildcat, it's the Grizzly Bear.
Yes.
The Grizzly Bear. Yeah, write that one down too. The Grizzly Bear.
Yeah, I'm gonna trademark that because it's gonna be used. But yeah, I like I think we're gonna be competitive all year. I think we're gonna be not just fighting for a playoff spot. We're gonna have one possibly by week 13. And I think we got a good shot, fellas. Everybody love your team. Love this team. We got something to be really excited about this year. Not just a coach that we all wanted in there thinking that he could do better. We gave him a second one. We gave him another chance. And I said, it wasn't great, but thank you for being there. Thank you for rallying the fan base. Now we got to get back together, fans. Raider Nation, let's get back together. I know a lot of people don't like each other. It is what it is, but one nation under the shield. Remember that.
Do you think with Pete Carroll, who's had with USC and then with Seattle success there, and then Chip Kelly on the college ranks having a lot of success there, and then with Geno Smith, who though late in his career has showed he can have success under Pete Carroll, that it just sounds like it's too good. A lot of fans are like, this is too good to be true. No. Don't trick me with all these guys we got. I don't want to believe it.
That's the thing. That's what we are so burned out of, having so much high hopes in the beginning of the year and getting just our hearts torn out by like week 8. And then by the end of the year, break this team up. We got to go get this guy. We got to get that guy. We need Shador. We need Shador. We need Shador.
Yeah.
Why did we need him? What was he going to do? He going to sit and bitch after the first 2 years that he ain't playing. And, no. We got a quarterback. His name's Cam Miller, a winner. If Tom Brady has hope and faith in him, shit, why wouldn't we?
Yeah, and that's what Silent was saying earlier, is that the Raiders didn't really want to draft him because they didn't want to have a controversy similar to what Cousins had in the Falcons. They give him that big contract, and then a month later they go and get a quarterback in that first round. So now it's like, wait, I'm supposed to be the guy, but now I got to look over my shoulder if I start messing up.
But they don't look so stupid now, do they?
Well, yeah.
And here's I'm not, believe me, I don't think anything that Shador would overtake Gene. I'll tell you the truth.
I don't know.
Well,
don't they look stupid for having $180 million quarterback being backup?
That's pretty stupid, but they won't trade him. I thought he was going to end up with the Browns. He might still end up with the Steelers. You never know.
Yeah.
But yeah, I have a lot of faith in this team. I have a lot of faith in the coaching staff, in the front office, and what they did. I'm very happy with. I'm not bummed out about anything. I'm really happy with what we got, what we're going into the season with. I hope the offensive line shows something, and I think it'll be good. Yes, I like it when both OC and DC are in the booth as well. I don't like them being on the field. You can see more in the booth.
Yeah.
How do you not see more in the booth? Why are you on the sideline? You don't need to be there. This isn't high school.
Well, one last quick question.
Sure.
And I want to make this not be an obvious answer, but what would be on the offensive side? What would be the main key to the success of this team? Would it be the quarterback, or is it going to be the offensive line?
Offensive line, because it all starts up front. The offensive line blocking for Genty, and it'll take a lot of pressure off Gino. They won't be able to keep 8 in the box, and once Gino can just sit back there and let it rip, pick teams apart, and then we just hand Genty off here, bring Laube in, let him take a couple reps. You know what? Raheem Mostert as well. He could break 160, 70 yards.
Mm-hmm.
And remember, we still got Zamir White, but we don't know what's going to happen. We might cut him. He might get cut because this is what he sees.
Yeah.
He's Trent Richardson 2.0. But the offensive line is the big for me.
I'm an offensive lineman. I didn't want to say that. Like, it's always the offensive line because it is obvious.
It is.
It starts in the trenches.
But
I want somebody else.
Games are win and lost in the trenches.
Yes.
Our defensive line is probably going to be top 8 this year, maybe more.
Yeah.
If Christian Wilkins stays healthy, oh boy, and bringing in those kids to rotate, Tonka and JJ, bringing them in to rotate, and Adam, and also Malcolm Kuntz coming back to where he was, and of course we got the future Defensive Player of the Year, Mad Max Crosby. We all good. That's right, Anna Diaz. I believe as well. I believe we will win. I believe that was the World Cup USA thing. That didn't last long. All right, fellas. I'm gonna get going. Thank you for letting me come on. I enjoy coming on and talking ball, talking shop with you guys. I love it. And yeah, I think we have a real good shot at playing in later in the year. Maybe early next year. You never know. You never know.
And this ain't blind faith. This is, I see what they're trying to do, and I'm going to allow myself to believe that they know what they're doing finally in the front office and let it all trickle down to the players that we get. So
that's right. Attaboy.
All right. Thank you, Demon King. We appreciate you coming on because really, we didn't really have the second half to the show. So you saved the day. We summoned the demon from the war lair, and he came in, and like was it Gazoo from the Flintstones?
Yes.
You came in. Listen here, dummies. I got you. All right, thank you. Oh no, not dummies. Dum-dums. All
right, chat. I love the chat. And Anna, the league is so much better when the Raiders are successful. Always remember that.
All right, here we go.
See you. Good night, fellas.
Asylum. Hit that outro.
Demon King out.
Oh yeah, smooth transition. We want to thank Demon King impromptu showed up on the in the chat. Asylum said he's in the chat. Summon him. He came up. Well, audio issues, but still, he still came up.
Hey, it was a little audio issues, but it got fixed.
Yeah, so we appreciate that, and we appreciate everyone that was still watching and staying patient with us, because we know when Peggy's on, you want to hear what she has to say. With Demon King's on, you want to hear what she has to say. Oh, sorry, I'm sorry. You want to hear what he has to say. I'm kind of like whatever. She. So we appreciate both of them coming on, and talking the acquisitions that we got. And now we're just waiting to see what this team is going to look like as we go into the offseason, or going through the offseason, going into training camp. But next week, of course, is going to be when the Raiders get their schedule, or all of NFL gets their schedule, and we're going to cover that, and we're going to give our predictions on wins and losses. Everyone's favorite game when they 17. Well, right now 17-0 because we're all 0-0. 17-0. Delusional Raider fans over there. So we're gonna play our favorite game, which is win, lose, or tie.
Raiders till I die.
Well, I was gonna change it to are we gonna survive? No. So it's all what happened last year. Let's not look at this anymore again. So when the schedule comes out, we're gonna cover it, and we're gonna go week to week, and we're gonna give our predictions of how this team's gonna go week. How this team is gonna.
That was easy for you to say.
I know. No scripts, live TV. So join us next week as we go and break that down. I know everyone's gonna be doing the same. Everyone's gonna be doing that same show, but come watch ours too. Okay, come watch ours too. We're gonna try to be as subjective as possible, not be so fanboyish, and try to be as subjective as possible. Spot out the trap games, and then maybe even take a look at, the schedule overall, meaning overall. So we're going to have that next week. We want to thank everybody for watching the show. We appreciate it. We had high views again for an off-season show. We appreciate that, especially when there's no real news. But for the I don't say the faithful, the diehard cage match fans, if you want to go and get some merch,
you almost fucked that one up big time.
I know. I don't want to say that. That's on the other side. We don't claim that side of the bay. But we said last week, where is our email address? Go somewhere if you want any merch. It's very limited now because we're still growing. But if you want a koozie and a nose, because we sent her two to replace her one. So if you want a koozie, a lanyard, a shot glass, just go there, let us know, give us your address, and we'll send it to you for free, because those are for the ones that's from here from the beginning as we try to build our brand. Also, we want to tell you guys thank you and show you guys love by giving you some of our merch. Now you can say you had the originals. So the originals for the originals. So all right, Asylum, any last words on our show for next week or anything?
No, great show. Can't wait to talk about wins and losses next week, and we'll see how that's going to end up being. Are we homers or are we realistic?
And real quick, because I did want to do this real quick. Our home schedule right there. You see our home schedule right there. We got a lot of teams that has no wins. I mean, that didn't make a lot of wins. So they got the teams that we're playing a combined a win-loss record 25-77. So
yeah, but then they're away games though.
Oh yeah, that's kind of bad. 48-37. Hey, okay, we got to start like they say, build our home and then take care of. No, I'm just joking.
Well, I think every single one of those away games made the playoffs.
Texans 10-7, Colts 8-9 was probably the only one that didn't make it.
Okay, maybe not the Colts, but they were going last minute. But
yeah, Philly, Super Bowl winner. Washington was right there at the doorstep.
Oh.
Then New England, 4-13. So 4-13. So that's probably going to be. But they're building their team. They got like 3 of our guys playing for them now. So we'll take a look at that next week and break it all down. So we want to thank everybody for coming on. What is that, Ray Moore? Though? What is that? I know Ray Moore. I know Ray Moore. That's old school.
I know.
Yeah, I know. It's been a while.
Been a long time.
Appreciate you, Ray Moore. Old school, right there. I want to thank everybody for watching. We appreciate you guys watching and being diehard fans of the cage match. We're gonna start doing some more different things, preparing for our season 3 or covering our 3rd season. So thank you very much, everybody. And see you guys next Wednesday when the schedules come out. So everyone take care. Raider Nation for life. We always on the show like we always do. With a word from Raider Mort. Shout out to Raider Mort. Raider Mill. My former football coach, Coach Wallace, aka Raider Mill. Keep his memory alive. And take care. And see you next Wednesday. Thank you very much. Peace out.
All you other NFL teams, your tailgates are weak. Your teams are weak. We might be down right now, but it doesn't take away the history. And all you Raiders out there need to know your fucking history of who the fuck you playing for and where the fuck you're playing. Damn it. Oh, and by the way, I won my last cage fight. Again, I'm still undefeated. And you NFL motherfuckers out there that you think you want some, come on and get some anytime.